What up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be going over what you need to do to your 5.7 Hemi to make it have as much power as a stock 6.1 or 6.4. First, I'm going to get y'all a little cold start from Big Persky. Then we're going to do a little POV, and I'm going to go over them things. Video and go over some things because I've had people reach out to me personally, be like, your build sounds good, your truck sounds good, you know, what do you recommend? Do I need to trade it in for an SRT? Do I need to buy a 6.1? You know, Jeep, blah blah blah, all these questions. So I'm just gonna go over a few things. Now I know I'm gonna have people all in the comment section, and you can't replace, you can't get 5.7 to make 6.4 power and all this and that. I'm currently full bolt-on and I'm making 6.4 power to the wheels, stock 6.4 power. I'm gonna try to do this video. I don't know how good the quality is gonna be on the sound because I can't really hear. I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear because my truck is very loud, but I might have to redo this video. First and foremost, starting off is what I done. Again, I'm full bolt-on, but what I started with the first mod I done to my Durango was the 6.4 ported intake, the 392 ported intake. This one is a controversial one. You know, a lot of people say it don't do anything. It takes away from your high end, your low end, your mid range, X, Y, Z, whatever. Now, honestly, I have a ported one. Mine's ported from MMX. And me personally, I noticed gains. Before I even tuned it. So I took the 5.7 manifold off. And the only thing at this point that was done was a J Green 93 octane tune. That's it. That's the only thing that was done, other than I had like a mid suitcase delete and resonator delete. Other than that, then I had the resonators replaced with Flowmaster Super 10s. Other than that, the truck was bone stock. It was on a 93 octane tune and a TCM tune by J Green. When I done the manifold swap, I noticed, so I'm a pause. When I done the manifold swap, I did not do the SRV controller with it. They had a lockout plate. MMX had a lockout plate on sale. So I was like, at that time in the budget, it was not in the cards for me to spend another. At that time, it was way more expensive than it is now to get the switch, to get the, you know what I'm saying, get the window switch, set it up with the MSD and all that good stuff. So I decided just to lock it out. So I went with the lockout plate and locked out the runners on the ported intake. Now I know a lot of people. People were gonna say, well, that was pointless, you know what I'm saying, you just wasted money. What's the point of having the 6.4 intake if you go lock out the runners? You know what I'm saying? And I can agree with that to a certain extent. I just wanted to get it. It was on sale. MMX had it on sale. I believe I had got it for $900. That normally they was like, at the time they were like $1,300. It's whenever they were real big. So that's the decision I made at that time in the budget. I wasn't build box. So I had like 3 50-gallon totes full of parts. So I bought 1 7/8 long tube headers from Cooks. They had 3-inch collectors, 3-inch catted, green catted mids. I actually had somebody cut a window in the mids and remove the cat. So it's 3-inch catless mids. I then bought a FRP fly around performance Hellfire 2.0 cam kit. Now this cam kit came with your upgraded push rods, new retainers, new valve seals, new springs, new shims, new 9DMS lifters, MDNMS lifters, Hellcat lifters. I also done a Hellcat oil pump. This is another one that's controversial in this realm. But it's what I done is I opened the pump. I took my 5.7 spring and I put it in the Hellcat oil pump. So in theory is what this is gonna do. It's gonna give me more volume but not more pressure. So the Hellcat oil pump is gonna essentially, if you just buy a Hellcat oil pump, throw it on a 5.7, it's gonna raise your oil pressure. Now, the oil pressure wasn't the issue; it's the volume of oil that you're intaking. So through the pump. So in theory, I've seen a couple people do it on some Jeep builds. Not a lot of people talked about doing it. So I was like, is what I'll do instead of buying an aftermarket pump, I'll buy a Hellcat pump. I mean, they come standard on the Hellcats and they're good. I know people that are running 1,000 horsepower Hellcats with the stock oil pump. So clearly, you know what I'm saying, they're good enough for the application. I'm not nowhere near that power, so I was like, okay, I'm not even near Hellcat power yet. But so that being said, I took the 5.7 spring, put it in the Hellcat oil pump. Now, as far as internals, I have not done no internal work at all. I'm on stock heads. I don't have, and I got the Gen 3 Hemi. I don't have any head work. I freshened the heads up, had them cleaned. I went in, like I said, replaced the shims, the retainers, the seals, the springs, push rods, all that good stuff. I also have the Stank rocker arm stabilizer kit. I done that from the videos and the people that talked about. They had a lot of, that they have tendencies to have play in the rocker shaft. So I was like, I'll just, eliminate that issue. Eventually, I'm gonna be boosted. So I done a lot of stuff, while I was in there, and that's why I put together a build box. I didn't want to do one thing, get it tuned, do the second thing, get it tuned. So I done all this at one time. Within that time, I then went and got the Z Automotive switch for the active runners, and now I do have the active runners. I can definitely tell a difference in the mid-range now when it transitions from short runner to long runner with the ported 6.4 intake. I can definitely tell a difference now. But all in all, I have, on the simple math of track times, trap speeds, my 8th quarter mile times, if you do the calculations on it, I am exactly right at stock 6.4 Hemi power levels. Now you can hop on here and say, nah man, you're not just with that, you're not like that, just full bolt on. But I had to tell you I am. And it can be done. You can get 400 to 420 wheel horsepower on a full bolt-on Gen 3 5.7 Hemi without going into the internals, without boosting. several people that's done it. I've done it. The argument is just go buy a SRT. Just go buy a 6.1 Jeep. Just do a swap. I mean, you can, you know what I'm saying, if it's in the cards for you. But honestly, you know, the bang for your buck, if that's your power goals, if that's what you're reaching for, if you just want to be able to play around with, you know, build RTs and, you know, stock Scats and stuff like that, you know, stock 6.4 Durangos, do a full bolt-on 5.7. The one thing I will say is the argument of people saying, okay, it's got 400 wheel, this got 400 wheel, this got 420 wheel, this got 420 wheel. So there's a big difference in stock 420 horsepower and built 420 horsepower, tuned 420 horsepower. So your power is going to be in different places. Your power band is going to be different. The drivability is going to be way different. It's going to feel, mine feels way more torquier on the street, like on you know, stoplight to stoplight. It feels way more torquier. It feels torquier. I'm not saying it's quicker. I'm just saying it feels torquier. It's heavy. I got a 309 gear. I'm all-wheel drive. It's over 5,000 pounds, and I got an 8-speed. By no means is it quick to me. When I done the build, was I disappointed? Absolutely. I was expecting way better results, and the reason why is because I was actually comparing it, like people say, apples to apples. I was comparing, okay, I'm at 6.4 Durango power, but I'm not hitting 6.4 Durango times. I also done this. Also, every OEM timed spec that you're gonna find online is gonna be perfect conditions, perfect DA, perfect temp, perfect, you know, car conditions. That being said, I'm not gonna disclose my time on here on this video, but I did run almost right at a half a second slower than a stock SRT Durango. Now, there's a lot of things that come into factor with this. Suspension. I do have lowering springs, but a SRT Durango has adaptive suspension. When you put it in track, it adjusts the suspension, it adjusts the stiffness, the rate. It adjusts a lot. Also, launch control. The stalls on my Durango and a 6.4 Durango are way different. I'm not really sure what a stock stall on a SRT Durango is, but I do know that to be able to launch it at 3,000, 3,500 RPMs, it's not the same stall I have. I can only push mine to 1,800 RPMs before it starts pushing. It'll start pushing my truck. So, that being said, my 60 foot is way less than what a 6.4 Durango is. Power wise, can you get it full bolt-on 5.7? Yes. Numbers wise, you're gonna have to do way more. One of my biggest regrets in my build was not doing a torque converter. I had, and when I done my job, I pulled my whole motor. You know, I pulled my whole motor out my truck. So I literally put my hands on my torque converter. I had it, and I second guessed because I had reached out to FRP. I'm not even going to go into that conversation, but I will say it was not recommended for me to get a stall. And to anybody that is building something that you're trying to maximize your street gains and possibly do street and strip builds, and you have a goal, if you do any type of work and you do any type of cam, I don't care what anybody tells you, get a stall. Your street drivability, you are going to have way more fun with a stall. You're going to be way more happy if you actually get a stall, get a converter. Get a converter, spend the bread and get a converter. Don't care what, well, I don't care what the guy tells you. I don't care what the shop tells you. Yes, you can drive them. Yes, drivability is fine. It does not, I don't have surging issues. We had, you know, everything's tuned out, drives perfectly fine. Yes, I'm not saying anything about the drivability. I'm not saying it cannot be done. I will say that by far you will have way more of a gain in the drivability aspect of it if you have a stall. If you want to chop down your 60 foots, get a stall, especially if you have a platform like mine. All in all, that being said, man, I'm not gonna drag this video out. I just wanted to touch base and say a couple things, let y'all know that you can do these SRT, these stock 6.4 numbers with a full bolt-on 5.7, because I'm currently doing it. I'm doing it right now. My weight compared to my trap speed to my slip times is putting me approximately 400 to 420. You do the math on different calculators, you'll get 405, you'll get 415, you'll get 422, you'll get 407. So between 400 and 420 wheel horsepower. And that's approximately what you're gonna get out of a stock 6.4 to the ground. Cars get a little bit more, 420-ish. Durangos, I would say, would be right at about 400, 410. But that's it, man. The channel is gonna get a lot more content. During this build, I had just welcomed a new little baby into the family, so you know, I'm just now being able to get in the realm of things where I can actually put time into it, and I can do it, and I can bring y'all along with this journey. This is just the beginning. This is the next phase of my build is gonna be nasty. The next phase of my build, I have plans to do a fully forward stroker, and I'm building it for boost. Also, I'm upgrading my cam, and I'm getting a converter. That's top of the list. It's the first thing I'm buying. But all in all, man, the thumbnail tells it all. You can get 6.4 Hemi power out of a 5.7 full bolt-on, hands down, no question, no cap. Can be done, will be done for years to come. Yeah, that's just what it is. I'm gonna leave y'all with that note, and we're gonna get out of here. Y'all have fun. Like, comment, subscribe, tap in with me. This Buzz City B, and I'm out.